अवतार मेहर
बाबा की
जय।
अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय।
अवतार
मेहर बाबा की जय.
Thank you, Gadekar uncle, for joining in. So all yours from this point.
Okay. Jai Baba. Jai Baba to all of you. Now let us continue sharing of Meher Baba with all of you dear ones. Now, if you will recall, last time we had shared Baba's memories of Pandharpur Darshan program. Do you recall that?
Yes, we recall.
Yes.
Yes, Gadekar uncle.
Yes. So if we have shared Baba's Pandharpur Darshan program last time, and the story of Gadge Maharaj, then we can continue further and we can continue to revive the memory of Meher Baba and his glory. This episode of Gadge Maharaj, it took place in 1954, and thereafter, 1955 onwards, we were staying in Pune. We started staying in since 1947, but let us consider the period beyond, period of 1955 and beyond. During the year 1955, I was studying in college, in Ferguson College here, and I was studying in the BSc class. And the Ferguson College is not very far off from here. It is the college which Baba had attended. And it is also the college which my father attended. And therefore, this college has a special place in Baba's ministry, being the college which is, because it was behind the Ferguson College hill that Baba used to go in his earlier days before he started observing silence. And he would he would visit the hills. And those hills behind Ferguson College, there are small hillocks, not very tall hills. And the hills, inside the hills, there are caves. And these caves are still there. And Baba used to go and sit in one of these caves, and he would meditate there. So that is the significance of the place. And it had been such a wonderful thing to be able to go to the college, which is very near to this pious place. And Ferguson College was established more than 100 years back by the well-known social workers in Pune, and they established the Modern Education Society. And under the auspices of the society, several schools and colleges were opened, Ferguson College being one of them. It is the building was constructed during the British times. Therefore, it has the imprint of the British architecture. And in 1955, I was studying in the BSc class Actually, I appeared for the BSc examination in 1956. Therefore, I must have been studying in the junior BSc class in 1955. So during those days, Baba would visit Pune and he would, during the summer times, and he would stay in the quarter of Dadi Kerawala. Dadi Kerawala was a bachelor and he was the cousin of Nirvan Jassawala. So, and Erach is the brother of Mirman. So eventually Dadi was also the cousin of Erach. So therefore, Dadi and Meher Baba were very close. Dadi's family, that is his mother and others. So Dadi was a bachelor and he was employed as a horticulturist in the agriculture department in Pune. And in that capacity, he was required to stay in the premises of the agriculture college. And as it was a residential job, because he was a horticulturist and he has to look after the plants and the fruit trees that were being planted under his supervision, and to also take care of the trees which have been planted, and also to see that the trees are properly nourished, they get proper manures and fertilizers, and they bear fruits at the proper time. Because Daddy was also responsible for a collection of the fruits and all those things. So when he was having such a job, he was offered a residential quarter in the premises of the agriculture college. And the quarter being very big and being occupied only by a bachelor, there was plenty of room in the quarter, and therefore it was Baba's favorite place for staying in Pune. So during those periods, whenever Baba would visit Pune, he would stay in Dadi's Kerawala's quarters in Ganeshkin Road. And when the people of Pune came to know, would come to know that Baba has come to Pune and Baba is staying in Dadi Kerawala's quarters in Ganeshkin, they would be very happy and they would begin to visit Baba for his darshan in the Ganeshkin quarters. So those were the days. And it was during those days that I was studying in the Ferguson College for the BSc class, the junior BSc class. I was hardly about 19 or so, 1920. And then one incident happened. When I had been to Baba Darshan, one day after the darshan was over, then Baba was leaving. Baba indicated that we should leave the place, and then he indicated that I should sing Baba's Arati. So this we have shared last time, this incident. Now, what happened thereafter? In 1956, I was in the BSc class, and I used to go to Baba Darshan in Pune. Are you able to listen to me? Or?
We are able to hear you. We are able.
Oh,
Yes.
good. Fine. Otherwise, I thought that I should speak louder. Doesn't matter. Excellent. So, in 1956, I passed the BSc examination. And as I passed in first class, and I had three subjects: chemistry, physics, and geology. And geology was my favorite subject. So therefore, I enrolled myself first for the master's degree in geology in Ferguson College. And the classes started in late 56 and 57, and so it was a 2 year course, 57 and 58. So I completed the course and received the degree in 1958, the master's degree. Now it is during this period, 56, 57 and 58, that whenever Baba used to come to Pune, he would stay in Guru Prasad. And in one of these days, he asked me to sing his arati, which I sang many times. And this, I think, we have shared last time. So, 1958, I appeared for the examination, and the result was declared. And at that time, Baba was in Guru Prasad, and the results would be declared. Results would be declared in local newspapers, and Baba would be there in Guru Prasad. If he's not there, he would go to Mehrabad. So when the result was declared, then I came to know that I have passed the MSc examination in first class and first in the university. So as Baba was not here, Baba in Pune, this message was conveyed to Baba in Mehrabad. And the telegram was sent that Digambar has passed MSc examination, standing first in the university. To which Baba replied that I am very happy that Digambar has passed the examination of MSc Geology in first class first. I hope that he passes in third class in obeying me. What does it mean? It means that it is the humor of the avatar. Secondly, it is a very important pointer to all of us. And what is that pointer? That pointer is that whatever achievements we make in our material life, they are zero. They are nothing as compared to what was the second part in the telegram? I hope that he passes in third class in obeying me. So the second part is more important, most important rather. And the second part relates to obedience to the master. And obedience to the master is one of the most important things, and it is equally at times very difficult thing to observe. Because just saying that, oh master, I obey you is not sufficient. When the master, it is what is important is, or what is necessary is, whenever a master gives any order, that order has to be followed strictly and 100%, 100% to the satisfaction of the master. So if that order is followed 100% to the satisfaction of the master is pleased. The master is pleased with the obedience of the lover, or with the obedience of the disciple. So this is the significance of the order that is given by the master. Anyway, when I had passed this examination and when the news was conveyed to Baba, when the Baba replied that I hope he passes in third class in obeying me, what is the meaning of this? Its meaning is that Baba's obedience is of supreme importance. There is nothing more important than obeying Baba. So when I had passed this examination with such flying colors and having stood first in the examination, the government of India was pleased to offer me a scholarship to go abroad. And in the meantime, I had applied to different universities in abroad, like University of California, or the Imperial College in London, or the Princeton University, and so on. And as Baba would have it, I got admission in the University of California, Berkeley, which is regarded as one of the most competitive universities in the world. It is very difficult, practically impossible to get even admission in the university because the admissions are so competitive. And I'm telling this story which goes back to 1958. And I applied to the University of California, Berkeley. I was selected as a graduate student and a graduate student of geology. And I approached the government with the admission letter from the university that I am selected. And the government was kind enough to grant me the travel grant because I was not having any money to travel to the US. I was not having any money even to pay the fees. So for all these purposes, the government was kind. It paid for my passage and it also paid for my fees. And that is how my visit to Berkeley materialized. And it was materialized only with the grace of Baba. So when I met Baba with this happy news of my travel to US, Baba was very happy and Baba said that it's okay, very nice. Now that you are going to the US, I'm very pleased. But remember, now I am giving you orders. When you are going abroad and when you are staying in the US for 2 years, I am giving you my personal orders. And then I looked at Baba, and Baba was in Guru Prasad, and he was in a very relaxed mode. And I was looking at Baba with a quizzical face. That what is it? What order Baba wants to give to me? Most of the orders I have, practically all the orders of Baba I have followed. So Baba said that now you are going to the US. I give you 3 orders. First order is that you should not smoke. Second order is you should not drink. And the third order is you should not touch any girl, young girl with lustful intention. So when these 3 orders were given to me, I nodded. I said, Baba, yes, I shall obey your orders. And then I was about to leave. Baba said, stop. Then I looked at Baba and I asked, Baba, what is it that you want me to do now? You already given me 3 orders, which are very comprehensive. What is the fourth order now? And Baba looked at me and Baba said that the fourth order is that you should write a letter to me every 15 days. And that was the fourth order. And this fourth order made me happy because every 15 days I would get an opportunity to write a letter to God. And with these orders, and with the blessings of Avatar Meher Baba, and after bowing down to him, I departed from India and sailed to the US. I sailed from London and reached New York. And from New York, I took a plane to go to California. And it was my first long flight, practically. And it was winter, and it was very cold in New York, and the whole of the East Coast was cold frozen. So when I looked down from the aircraft, I could see sheets of white everywhere. I said, what is it? Why so much white bed sheets have been spread on the ground? Then my fellow passengers said, they are not bed sheets, that is thick snow down on the ground. And then I realized that it was freezing. And but the situation changed when the plane flew across the Rocky Mountains, and when I approached the Midwest, and then finally and Arizona, Texas, and then finally to California. And in California, it was bright and sunny. And I was to go to Berkeley, which is not very far off. Berkeley doesn't have an international airport, so I had to get down at San Francisco, which is not very far from Berkeley, hardly about 15-20 kilometers. And there is a sea, the branch of sea which is coming inside the land. So on one side, this is San Francisco city there, then you have to cross the sea and go to the other side of this sea, and a small branch of the sea, and then you are in Berkeley. A very beautiful scenery. And in San Francisco, when I landed, as I told, I didn't take the plane, but I traveled across in train. And when I got down at the railway station in San Francisco, Baba's disciple in San Francisco, Mr. Lud Dimple, and his daughters, they were there at the San Francisco railroad station to receive me. Because Baba had instructed that I should stay with that family during the weekends while I would study in Berkeley. So I went to their house, spent the weekend there, and then I went to the Berkeley campus, and my stay was arranged in the International House, where students coming from different countries other than US, they stay and study in the University of California, Berkeley. And it's like a hostel, international hostel. So this international hostel is known as International House. And in the International House, I began my stay. And Baba had instructed me that when you stay in Berkeley, you spend your weekends with the Dimple family. So every weekend, the Dimple family would come to International House in their car. They will pick me up. They will put me in their car and they will take me to their house. I will spend my weekend there in their house and share Baba stories or listen to Baba stories from them. And then on Sunday evening, I would return back to the hostel to begin my classes from Monday morning. So that was the schedule. And this went on practically for a couple of years. And whenever I would be with the Dimple family, and whenever I would share Baba's stories, they would listen to Baba's stories very carefully and with great love and intention. And I remember Lud, I remember their daughters. Lud had 3 daughters and 1 son. The son's name is Bill, and the daughters were Diane, the eldest daughter, then Claudia and Joni. Diane was very favorite of Baba, and because as a child, all the small children, all these 3 children of the Dimple family, they were very close to Baba. And the eldest one, that is Diane Dimple, this daughter was so fond of Baba and so close to Baba that Baba would always love her. Baba would always caress her, and Baba would always uh, inquire regarding her. And Baba had given that eldest daughter a special name. And what was that name? Baba's beloved baby. Baba's beloved baby. BBB. And because her name was BBB, and because BBB was long, it was shortened, it was abbreviated to 3B. So her name was changed to 3B. So when other Baba lovers would say, "Where have you been?" then I would say that I had been to 3B's place. And then they would understand that I had spent the weekend with the Dimple family. So Baba had given me instructions, and accordingly, I would write a letter to Baba every 15 days and post the letters. These letters were posted in the post box, mailbox, which is near to International House, hardly within walking distance, about 100 yards or so. So I used to write letters every 15 days and post them there and put them in the letterbox. So subsequently, after many, many years, when I went to California and when I again stayed in the International House, the Baba lover who had come to pick me up, she said that, "Digambar, please show me the letterbox near International House." And I took her to the letterbox and she said, "Oh, this is the letterbox." And then she said that this is a wonderful letterbox because it was the letterbox which received letters to God every 15 days regularly during your stay in California. So that is a separate story of the letterbox. That letterbox is still there and you can go And then subsequently, after 25 years, when I went there, one of the Baba lovers told me, insisted that you take me to the letterbox. And when I took that person to the letterbox, the person, that Baba lover, bowed down to the letterbox. I said, why are you bowing down? And she said that I am bowing down to the letterbox because this is the letterbox which has received letters to God regularly for 2 years from you. So that was the story of the letterbox which I wanted to share with you. If any of you happen to go to Berkeley, California, and stay in International House, you please walk outside the house and ask anybody where is the nearest letterbox. And when you go there, that will be the letterbox, which was very fortunate to receive letters addressed to God in human form. So this is what I wanted to share. And there were many incidents which tested me during the period of 2 years in Berkeley. Because Baba had given strict orders, as I said, not to drink, not to smoke, not to drink, and not to touch any young girl with her. So there were many occasions where, when I was put to test for each order, for example, the order for not to smoke. Now, America is a free country, and that culture is spread to India also now. If you go to the campus, you will find that many students, they are enjoying the smoke in the premises of the campus. But when I was studying in Ferguson College, the campus was smoke free. Now the campus has become smoky. So when I went to Berkeley and when I started following these orders, first order was not to smoke, second order was not to drink. Now to drink, I started observing this order, but again there were obstacles because drinking is very common in the US, as it has become common now here in our country because we are following the US blindly, perhaps. So at that time, drinking was very common in the US, even now probably. And when a student would drink freely, of course, they would not attend the classes in a drunken state. But nevertheless, during the holidays or whenever they had free time, or they would, at least they would enjoy. Whenever it would be very hot, they would enjoy the beer, and they would always have a jug of beer, about 2 liter jug, full of yeah, beer and chilled, ice chilled beer, because it would be hot sometimes in California, and they would enjoy the chilled beer. And I would watch them. And sometimes I would be offered, and I would decline politely. About drinking, same case about this touching young girls. So that order also I observed. Smoking also I observed. Smoking, I was offered a cigarette by my fellow students, which I used to decline. And sometimes it would be very hard for me because even my senior students or even the graduate students or even the tutors would offer cigarettes to smoke. And every time I would say, I would thank them politely and decline, thank you, or no thanks. And they would begin to wonder, what kind of Indian is he? He's a crazy Indian, they would say probably, that what sort of fellow is he? Same case with touching the girls, because as I said, it's a free society and young boys and girls, they mix very freely in the campus. And uh, many times the students would wonder that why is this fellow not being friendly with the girls? Because the boys are very friendly with the girls. And there is a concept of dating. There was the concept of dating at that time. Now, what is this dating? I never had. I never could imagine. I never had heard this word. I had heard the word date means what is the date in the calendar? Calendar date. It is 1st of August. That is the date. But when I went to America, then I was asked the question, Digambar, why do you not go on a date? I said, I always remember what is the date. Then they said that, okay, do you remember what is your date? Yes, I remember what is the date. Today is, for example, is 2nd of July. They said, no, Digambar, you are not understanding. By going on a date means that you have to take a young girl out in the evening and then you have to treat her with tea or coffee or snacks, and also you have to spend company with that girl in that evening. And when I was explained in detail, I said, you stop now, don't go in further details. And then they said that this is what is meant by going on a date. Then I said that if it is the meaning of what is going on a date, then I am sorry that I shall not go on a date. Because if I go on a date according to the description that my friends had given, it would amount to breaking the order of the Lord, breaking the order of the promise that I have given to the Lord. That is not to touch a girl with lustful intention. So I did not go on a date. I did not smoke, and I did not drink. And in that condition, I returned back safely. And when I returned back, and when Baba was there in Guru Prasad, and I went to Baba Darshan, and Baba, I learned that Baba is not. I don't remember whether Baba was in Guru Prasad or maybe Baba had left Guru Prasad and gone to Razad. But eventually, when Baba came to know that I have come, then probably I wrote a letter to Baba that I have followed all your instructions 100%. Then when this letter reached Baba, Baba, when he heard the letter read out to him by Hiraj, then Baba was very pleased. And Baba asked Hiraj to write a reply. And in that reply, what did Baba write? Baba had dictated the reply that, dear Digambar, I am very happy that you have followed my instructions 100%. All my instructions, namely not to drink, not to smoke, and not to touch a girl. So you have observed my orders 100%. And Baba said in the last sentence, Digambar, I am proud of you. So this is the most precious statement that I have heard from the Lord. And this is the statement which is cherished in the treasure of my heart, that Digambar, I am proud of you. Because it is a testimony to the obedience of the order of the Sadguru or of the Master. So that is how it went on. When I returned back, after I returned, then Baba was staying in Ganeshkin, and I went for a darshan, and he was very happy. I bowed down to him and he blessed him. Then he returned to Merazad, and I continued to go to Merazad for having Baba darshan after I returned from the United States. And that was in the year 1960. Thereafter, in 61, my sister got married. And after my elder sister was married, it was my number to get married. And my mother began the search for a suitable girl for me. And as I was the only son in the family, my mother was very particular to find a suitable match. And after searching at several places and in several families, she finally selected a girl from one of our relatives in Bombay, one Mr. Rao Sahib Sonne. He was at that time working in a very important position with the Ministry of Railways in the government of India. The ministry recruits the different categories of staff, like clerks and guards and station masters and so on and so forth, because they require a lot of man force. And you know that Indian Railways is one of the largest network of railways in the entire world. So therefore, this job was very important and significant. And because he had to select the persons who would spend at least 30 years of their life with the Indian Railways. So he had to be very careful with selecting the right person. And he was living with his family in Bombay, and he had two children, one son and one daughter. And his daughter was of marriageable age. And when my mother came to know about this, she went and saw the daughter. And when she saw the daughter, she was very happy. And she told herself, she may be a good match for my son. And she brought the topic with the father of that girl. And they discussed and they said, okay, you please call your son to have a look at the daughter. So at that time, I was already working as a class one officer, and I was in Cambay in Gujarat, working in the oil field with the oil company called Oil and Natural Gas Commission. So from there, I came to see the girl, as they say in India. Now, see the girl means what? It's a big ceremony where the boy and the boy's parents they sit in the drawing room of the prospective wife, and in the drawing room, the boy and the boy's parents and the girl's parents they sit together, and the table is laid, and the on the table the snacks are to be served, and the tea is to be served. So the snacks and the tea is brought from the kitchen to the drawing room and placed on the table. And who does this duty? This duty is performed by the girl to whom this family has come to see, quote and unquote. So that is seeing the girl. So this is an elaborate ceremony. And when I had to undergo that ceremony, the girl was brought and it was shown to my mother and my sister, and they looked at the girl. They approved the girl. She was from a respectable family and educated and good looking. And then we and my mother approved the match, and we came home. And my mother said that wrote a letter to the father of the girl that we approved the girl and you please fix the date of the marriage. And then I said to my mother, you are fixing the date of my marriage, but I have not seen the girl. Then my mother said that, are you a fool? We have taken you to that family. We spent some time in that family. We asked the family to serve some snacks, and the snacks were brought and laid on the table by the girl. And you were there, and you are saying that you have not seen the girl. What sort of thing is this? I said that I was not looking at the girl, I was looking at the snacks. So that is how it happened. But then my mother said that, okay, this to go and ask them to show the girl again, it is very impolite. It is not proper. But nevertheless, I will try. And I said, and she said to me that the father of the girl is a very strict person, and he may not agree to show the girl, and asked her to parade before you for second time. So with that fear in mind, we went again, and my mother requested to the father, and reluctantly father agreed. And then she again came, and then I had the first glimpse of my life. So that is how the story goes. And then I got married, and after the marriage, then we went for Baba Darshan. Baba was in Mehrazad, and we went from Pune to Mehrazad for Baba Darshan. My wife, myself, and my mother, and my elder sister. And when we went to Mehrazad for Baba Darshan, Baba was in the Mandali hall, and then he was sitting on the chair. We went in front of him, and we sat on the ground in front of him. and my wife was sitting right across to him on the ground, and Baba was sitting on the chair. Baba looked at my wife. Now she came from a very cultured family and educated family. So therefore she was just looking at the ground and she would not dare to look straight to Baba. She would not dare to lift her head and look directly to Baba. She would always look down. And then Baba looked at her and Baba looked at my mother who was sitting nearby, and Baba gestured like this to my mother. Now what does this gesture mean? This gesture means it is very, very nice. It is very beautiful. And that is what Baba said this time. Baba did this, pointing it to my wife, and Baba did this sign to my mother, meaning that Digambar's wife is very beautiful. So that is what Baba conveyed to my mother. And that was the first meeting of my wife with Baba. And she just looked at his feet and bowed down to his feet. And that is how. And then Baba, when I bowed down to Baba, then Baba again said that your wife is beautiful. I bless both of you. You go and start your life. So when he said that you go and start your married life, that was the sign of absolving me from the orders of celibacy. Celibacy means not to touch any woman, any young girl with lustful intention, which indirectly I took as a continued order to as regards smoking and drinking. So I was freed from one order, but implicit were the other two orders, which are being followed. So that is how the story was. And this is how my wife came in Baba's fold. And a young Baba lover, a new Baba lover was born, and her name was Urmila. So that is her story. And she has her own experiences of Baba. And there are many permits, we shall share them accordingly.
Digambar, did Urmila eventually look at Baba?
Yes, she did look at Baba for the first time, but when she looked at Baba, thereafter she looked down, and then she was just looking down. Yes,
Uh-huh.
no Baba's darshan. She looked at Baba's face. Yes, he did. Yeah.
Can you tell us kind of her how she eventually was drawn, took Baba to be who he said he was? She didn't have that feeling initially, right?
Yes, she did not have the feeling initially because she came from the Orthodox and religious family, and those they were praying, they had different idols of God throughout their house. But to accept God, Baba as God, she had not tried so far. But when she had Baba's darshan for the first time, automatically from within the heart, it sprang within the heart that Meher Baba is God, and she accepted Baba as God, and that is the beginning of her relationship with God, with Baba. So that is the story of Urmila, which I wanted to share with you. So see how Baba turns the key. Yes.
Just like that, one
One, two,
meeting.
three, key is turned, and then there is transformation, even without one's knowing that you are being transformed.
Is there one of your
Yes.
Digambar, is there one of the stories that your wife has told you or that you know about in her one of her stories with Baba, one of her experiences that she had or has shared with you?
Oh, she has shared with me that when she looked at Baba, she instantly felt that she is looking at God, and she accepted Baba as God. So that is a very rare thing, to accept Baba as God at the first darshan. Probably it is blessing of Baba. And thereafter, she did not pray, or she did not offer her prayers to any other god in her own house. She would always pray to Baba.
Mhm.
That is the story of Urmila. Instant transformation.
Did
Incredible.
Baba, did in other times when you were with Baba, did Baba say anything to her, or anything that you recall how Baba related to her later on, other times when you were with Baba?
Oh, later on, when you used to go and have Baba darshan together, then she would also have Baba darshan. She would bow down at Baba's feet, and she would look at Baba and have Baba darshan. And then Baba would love her, would caress her, would embrace her, and then Baba would say that uh, you love me more and more, and I liked being loved by persons like you, and I like you. So Baba would tell Urmila, and this continued even during her period of pregnancy. During when she was pregnant, she would go for Baba darshan, even in the advanced stage of pregnancy. And then Baba would tell her that you continue remembering me, and that is very important. So I would request my sisters who are in that state to remember Baba, because Baba said that if a lady is pregnant and if she remembers Baba during the stage of pregnancy, then the uh, the good sanskaras are transferred to the fetus, to the womb of that woman. So a new Baba lover is being formed. So that is how Baba would say. So this is in a way very marvelous and incredible. I hope you'll agree with me, Jeff.
I do. Beautiful.
So now, shall we turn to the questions?
Anybody, any questions?
All those little things, like what you just shared about, your wife going when she was pregnant, and any little exchange that Baba, you witnessed, that Baba with you or Urmila or anyone else, those little exchanges, if you, any of those that come to mind.
Oh,
Things that
I
you
don't-
witnessed.
no, what you are, it is not clear to me what you are saying.
You would be there with Baba and you would see him relating to others.
Yes.
Any of those experiences you witnessed that were particularly touching to you?
Oh, there are so many experiences like that. Because whenever Baba would be in Guru Prasad, and whenever I would be there, or during the Savas programs, particularly the Mass Darshan programs, which I would invariably attend. And not only that, I used to write a diary, and I would sit very close to Baba near the stage, and I would write the diary. So I would see from a very close quarter the reactions of the people who would come for Baba Darshan, their surrenders, and their weeping, and the tears rolling down their cheek whenever they would be overwhelmed with emotions of love when they would have Baba Darshan. So many incidences are
Any specific one that you recall?
there. There are too many to pin down a specific one. Because you see, as I said, there are old time Baba lovers who would come from Andhra all the way traveling thousands of kilometers. And when they would have Baba Darshan, they would begin to weep, and they would come in lots, and they would not know Hindi. They would speak in their own language, Telugu language, and they would not speak in English or Hindi. and Baba's programs could be conducted mainly in English or Hindi or Marathi. So somebody had to be requested to translate what Baba used to convey to those Telugu speaking people. And at times this task would be done by one of the very old Baba lovers from Andhra Pradesh, and his name was
Kutum Shastri. Kutum Shastri.
Kutumba Shastri, correct. His name was Kutumba Shastri, and Kutumba Shastri, he was a well-known Sanskrit scholar. He was a scholar not only of Sanskrit but also of Telugu. So he would translate the Baba's words very precisely and in an understandable language to all the Telugu-speaking Baba lovers. Kutumba Shastri. And Kutumba Shastri, and they were very close. Kutumba Shastri would come and stay in our house whenever he would come for Baba Darshan in Pune. He would come from Vijayawada, Andhra Pradesh. And he would translate Baba's discourses in Savas programs. You might have seen him in the film. But one sentence I remember in Telugu about Baba, which Kutumba Shastri would always tell. He would tell the audience that Avatar Meher Baba, Mahapurushudu, he would mean like that. That means Avatar Meher Baba is a great personality.
He used to say, Baba Garu Vastunnaru.
And
Baba is coming. Baba is coming.
Baba is coming, yes. Unnaru.
Baba Garu Vastunnaru. I remember that.
Baba Garu Vastunnaru. Not only that, there are some other one very common Telugu phrase is there. Andariki Jai Baba. Andariki Jai Baba means Jai Baba to you all. Andariki Jai Baba. And another Telugu phrase is there. Andaru Bagunnara. Andaru Bagunnara. That means I hope you all are doing well. So these two phrases I learned, and that is the end of my knowledge in Telugu. Jai Baba.
Digambar, when are you going to bring out those diaries of yours?
Oh, my diary.
Yeah.
No, I'm a very lazy person. You know that, Jeff. I'm a
Well,
very
but you can bring your diaries out here and look at them and then share some of what you wrote down watching
yes,
Baba.
Yes. I will bring the diaries along with me.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yes, I would bring those diaries along with me and share with you.
Yeah, because Ganesh is just, he's getting starved, He needs
Yes.
more details, more
Yes.
Baba.
And those diaries 1952 or so. Let us see how we are able to organize.
We'll send Ganesh over to look in your house and see if he can find them for you.
Yes, and then what happens?
Then you read them to us or share them with us.
Yes, I will be very happy to share those diaries with you.
Beautiful.
Yes. Wonderful, because
Definitely.
Baba's words are also written in my own hand.
Yeah.
So now I have an excuse to go to Gadekar uncle's home.
Yeah. He's the inspector, Ganesh.
Huh? And we have got another volunteer in Shashikant. Shashikant is saying that he is also willing to offer his services.
Oh, good.
Only I hope that he will find time.
Yeah. No, really, because there are some things I'm sure that you captured in your diary that would be very touching.
Yes, yes, there are some incidences that how Baba used to love those people who come for his darshan. And there are different experiences. Sometimes I have also taken the pictures. So those pictures also I will be able to share. I used to carry the box camera and I have taken many snapshots of Baba. I was doing the triple duty, the duty as a volunteer, duty as a photographer, and duty as a diarist. 3 in 1. I was wearing 3 hats.
Yeah. We are all ears
Oh,
and
good.
all eyes.
Thanks a lot, dear. Thanks a lot. Only thing is, let us see how the when this material, and then I could share all these things with you personally.
Good.
How
Yes,
about a
Becky?
song, Dr. Gadekar? Do you have in mind a little song you could sing us? One of your songs?
Song. Oh, yes. When we used to meet Baba, and when Madhusudan would be there, and the Pune Bhajan Mandali would visit Baba, and when Baba would ask Madhusudan to sing a song, and when Madhusudan would sing a song as the lead singer of the Pune Bhajan Mandali, we would also join in the chorus. So there are many songs which were composed by Madhusudan, and uh, we used to sing these songs many times in front of Baba. And when we used to finish singing this song, Baba would be very happy, and Baba would shake his head like this. And while we are singing, he would just give tap to the uh, uh, arm of the chair, uh, giving the rhythm of the song. Because Baba himself liked music, so that is how he enjoyed the songs which were sung by Madhusudan, and we joined those songs in the chorus. So one song was very popular song, and it was a parting song. And that parting song Baba used to like very much. And that party song is Gate Chalo. Gate Chalo. You might have heard this song times. So shall I sing that
Yeah.
song? Oh, great.
Yes,
But
please.
there is no musical accompaniment. I will sing solo. Maybe tabla is there, but I don't know. We'll forget tabla. गाते चलो गाते चलो गाते चलो गाते चलो मेहर मेहर गाते चलो मेहर मेहर गाते चलो गाते चलो गाते चलो गाते चलो गाते चलो मेहर मेहर गाते चलो मेहर मेहर गाते चलो काम करते चलो काम करते चलो नाम जपते चलो नाम जपते चलो सत्य कहते चलो सत्य कहते चलो झूठ त्यजते चलो झूठ त्यजते चलो मेरे मेरे ध्यान मेरे धन का खजाना लुटाते चलो मेरे धन का खजाना बढ़ाते चलो मेहर मेहर गाते चलो मेहर मेहर गाते चलो जिसमें मेहर नहीं जिसमें मेहर नहीं वो तो जीवन नहीं वो तो जीवन नहीं मैं मिटाते चलो मैं मेहर ले चलो मैं मिटाते चलो मैं मेहर ले चलो मधुसूदन मेहर में समाते चलो मधुसूदन मेहर में समाते चलो मेहर मेहर गाते चलो मेहर मेहर गाते चलो गाते चलो गाते चलो गाते चलो गाते चलो मेहर मेहर गाते चलो मेहर मेहर गाते चलो मेहर मेहर गाते चलो मेहर मेहर गाते चलो मेहर गाते चलो, मेहर गाते चलो। अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय।
Beautiful.
Wonderful, wonderful, beautiful. Oh, that was so nice. Oh, lovely. Thank you, Dr. Gadekar. Lovely. Mm. Mm.
Maybe some more music next time.
Mm.
Sure.
Wonderful.
Anybody,
You
any
have a rich
questions?
store of
I have a question, Dr. Gadekar. I enjoy so much hearing your stories, and I'm curious to know about Dadi Karawala's quarters at Ferguson College on Ganesh Kent Road. Are those quarters still standing, the quarters where Baba stayed with Dadi Karawala?
Oh, spelling of Dadi Kerawala, DADI
Yeah,
KERAWALA.
Yeah.
Dadi, DADI.
yeah.
No,
Are those-
yes, Dinah is asking whether those quarters are still there where Baba
Oh,
stayed.
the quarters are still there. If you, whenever you happen to come to Pune, you may take a chance and have a look at the quarters.
How are they being used now? Do you know?
They are being used, I think, the staff quarters by the staff.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, last time when Jeff was in Pune, we went, it was late night there, and we had a little hard time locating, and we could locate certain things, but not the exact place. So you remember, right, Jeff?
Ganesh was there with me last
Yeah, we thought we may have found it. I think it was Pratap, right? Was there?
Yes.
And
It was.
yeah,
It
but
was
it's, I
dark.
guess it's changed a bit.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yes, you see, there is construction activity subsequently, and there are changes.
And a couple of families were living there, if I recall.
Yes, correct.
Lucky people.
But it was beautiful to go back in time and be where
Yes.
Baba had been.
That Ganesh quarter is special to me because I have already told you that story about Ganesh quarter. And Baba asking me to sing that arati repeatedly.
7 times, something like that.
Yes. Same
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
So that is
Wow.
Beautiful.
any questions?
Yes. Anybody, any other question? Okay, we are good now then. So I think we can say 3 times Avtar Mere Baba Ki Jai.
Okay.
Okay, so everybody anyway can unmute themselves. We'll say 3 times Avtar Mere Baba Ki Jai. Avtar Meher
Meher
Baba
Baba
Ki
ki
Jai.
jai.
Avtar
Meher
Baba
Baba ki jai.
Avtar Meher Baba
Baba ki jai.